Manila, capital city of the Philippines, is the perfect setting for a great gathering of nations, an unsurpassed array of 9-ball talent. It is the PartyPoker.net World Cup of Pool, and once again it's being hosted by a country that has a national obsession with 9-ball. The tournament, now in its 6th year, has already accumulated a rich history. In 2003, Bustamante and Reyes laid down the gauntlet with a win in South Wales. China, an emerging power in cue sports, claimed their first title in 2007. The USA won in 2008, Reyes and Bustamante won again in 2009, China won again in 2010 and start their defence against the Swiss.
We are both a little bit the same character, and that's why I think we have a big chance here to do something, and I hope that we can make this on the table.
It would be amazing to win, for sure, yeah, and especially with this crowd with the Filipinos in this country. For us both it will be very nice, yeah.
Of course, it's always difficult, the first match against a strong team like China, but we know that we have our chance, and we hope that we will take it.
The Swiss struggled to make an impression in the opening 2 racks, but clawed their way back into the match to draw level after the 4th. We now join the action at the start of the 5th rack.
There's no better way than to start a tournament with the defending champions, and so we've begun with China. Li Yiwen and Fu Jianbo. They're not having things their own way, Alex Lely.
No, they're up against Ronald Regli and Dimitri Jungo from Switzerland. Especially Jungo, an established player, former World Junior Champion, Euro Tour winner. And Switzerland will be very happy to have made a level score after some early mistakes. So their nerves will be settled by now. And they can focus on playing pool.
Just a push out there. You never know how a new partnership will gel. For many years, of course, the Swiss had the services of Dimitri Jungo, but also of Marco Ciudi. So Regli is a new addition, and so far, so good.
And Regli has Filipino roots as well. That may help with the fans. In teams, in double matches, you'll see underdogs winning with more ease than in a regular individual tournament. For some reason, 2 players together are more able to overcome the pressure and that role of being the underdog. This shot did not work out as Ronald had planned, but it doesn't seem to be that bad a result. Two-time winners Li Yiwen and Fu Jianbo. They know how to make the mix. Nicely cheated pocket there, Li Yiwen.
And these two will not be taking Switzerland lightly. They met in the last 16 3 years ago in Rotterdam. And although China won, it was only by the narrowest margin, 8-7.
Jianbo playing the 3 in between the 4 and 6. 6 as a blocker. Just getting to the rail there, the 3 ball. After contact, cue ball or object ball needs to hit the rail. Otherwise it's a foul and ball in hand.
Two very different personalities. Two very different kinds of pool players, Li Yiwen and Fu. But as a pairing, they are formidable. Only Efren Reyes and Francisco Bustamante have won the World Cup twice apart from them.
Getting very lucky here. Missed a 3-ball. And not by a small margin. Still leaving the save for the Chinese.
I'll get this out of the way early, Alex. So you're telling me that was a Swiss miss? And that was a Chinese blunder.
No reason for Lee to miss that 3-ball. On his last backswing, pushing through the cue ball, applied more spin than he had estimated. Missing that 3. And the Swiss now really getting some wind in their sails. We're losing 2-zip, leveling the score, and now having a ball in hand out of the blue after Jungo missed the 3-ball.
With the alternate shot, it's difficult to build any kind of rhythm. You have to have a certain mindset. I think it's important to try and play as naturally as possible, but sometimes that's difficult.
And that's exactly where the big surprises come from. I remember Team Belgium winning against the Netherlands, against Taiwan. So this is very important to get your easy runouts here and there to sustain that rhythm that you're trying to achieve. Come out 2 rails, short rail, long rail. Ending up somewhat short. Shouldn't be a problem for Ronald.
China behind the defending champions, 3 adrift. The Swiss have won 3 consecutive racks.
Welcome back to the opening game of the PartyPoker.net World Cup of Pool. The Swiss, having been 2 down at the start, went on to win the next 3 racks. The defending champions China looked to have secured the 6th, only for a mistake to open the way for Switzerland to take a 4-2 lead, as we join them at the start of the 7th.
Well, 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 what an interesting scoreline this is. 2-ball in, not an illegal break, that's perfectly acceptable. A combination of 3 balls either potted or across the head string makes for a legal break. And the Swiss have done precisely that here in the 7th. 4-2 ahead. 4 racks in succession. China struggling.
Yeah, China have really let Switzerland off of the hook. Some nonchalance perhaps, and now have trouble getting back into that zone of focus. Jungo and Rekli picking up some confidence. Really in the driver's seat right now. Tough old layout though, with a long 3-ball and the 4-ball blocked. Not having a route to the corner pocket. If any, it's to the side pocket. But I don't see Jungo pocketing the 3 and getting that cue ball back for position on the lower right side of the 4-ball. Maybe you can try to cross bank it. There's a 2-way shot. The save and the offensive option, 2-in-1.
That's a shot they play in snooker. Obviously the chances of actually potting the ball are decreased in snooker because of the cut and the size of the pockets. But players play it thinking speculatively they might just get the pot, knowing full well, as Jungo has done there, that the ball is going to land safe. When China routinely won the first couple of racks, I think a lot of people assumed it was going to be a simple victory for them. Not so now.
It's a difficult position for Lee Hei-wen to escape from. He's played a conservative safety, hoping to maybe get behind the 5-ball with the cue ball. But now a second chance for Switzerland to play a Loctite safety. Just about good enough, it seems.
You mentioned, Alex, of Filipino descent, Rekli. Edwin Montal was of Filipino descent and he represented Canada and they reached the semi-finals of this event, so it's not the first time that a Filipino abroad, taking on a second nationality, is doing a good job for his adopted nation.
As much as they love the game of 9-ball and are dispersed all over the globe, when there's a pool table, there will be Filipinos. As Earl Strickland said, when you play on the moon, the bleachers will be packed with them. If you play a tournament in the Middle East, in Warsaw, Poland, everywhere, most fans are Filipinos.
Lots of balls moving. Is it okay?
It's a makeable shot for Lee. He can drop onto the 8-ball or try and to avoid the 8-ball. But it will make the shot so much harder. Oh, that's a good shot. Chose to play it with medium speed, even slightly harder, which is comforting for the cueing arm. Strong stroke, and this could relaunch the Chinese, so desperately needing another point.
When these two originally won the event in 2007, they were the giant killers. Defeated Finland in a gripping final, 11-10 in Rotterdam. Perhaps their most notable result was a quarter-final win, 9-6 over the Philippines, who themselves at the time were the title holders. Scotch doubles. Alternate shot. It definitely involves a different mindset. Well, the 9-ball disappears, and for the Chinese, it brings a certain amount of relief. It stops the rot. They'd lost 4 racks in succession. Now, though, Switzerland only lead by a single rack at 4-3. Very studious-looking fellow, Lee He-wen, former semi-finalist in the World 9-ball Championship. And while Fu Jianbo, in terms of his shot making, is the extravagant partner of the pairing, he's the solid one.
Silent but deadly. Not on this break though. Has made a legal break, but no position on the 1-ball. In the cut break, players aim to hit the 1-ball approximately 75%. Between a half-ball hit and a full-ball hit. If they hit it too thin, the cue ball will move forward, as has happened now. Both businessmen, Lee He-wen and Fu Jianbo, whatever that may mean where they come from, but also playing in the same pool room. So they will have made their practice hours.
Maybe it means that they usually get to the business end of tournaments, because they do. There's no doubt about it, over the last few years, Fu has had a better individual career than Lee. But together, there's sometimes you get the feeling certain teams don't have chemistry. Fu and Lee certainly do.
Jungo and Regli, I don't like them taking on this 1-ball. The only shot you can play is clip it thin and get to the other side. It's technically not an easy shot and difficult to get a real reward out of it. So the Swiss have wisely given it back. So it's a good opportunity. Hardest shot, perhaps directly the 1-ball. Slow rolling to a blind pocket. But if Ronald can do that, they will have automatic position on a 2-ball.
I thought the 8 might be a blocker. Just about isn't. The cue ball squirmed past it.
The angle is tricky. He can only avoid contacting the 4 when playing with a high ball. Playing with topspin, but then the 5 comes into the equation. Well, this will do. That's a good roll. Takes a delicate touch here to spin the 3-ball in and keep the cue ball on the right rail. So he's choosing differently. He's letting that cue ball run across table. Oh, that's a good shot.
Alex, when we've done commentary together in the past on the World Cup, you've made the point that Dimitri Jungo and his former partner, Marco Ciudi, didn't exactly get on all that well in terms of their relationship outside of the World Cup. These two, so far at least, seem to be gelling.
They're teaming up pretty well indeed. Many times you'll see that the two main competitors from a country don't mix well, because they are the main competitors, so they're fighting each other in the finals back home. And I will not name names, but I know numerous countries where this is the case.
France, maybe?
Peut-être.
By the way, Alex speaks 5 languages. I'm still learning English. Now, this is not an enviable shot.
A shot like this, you'd like to let that cue ball run. Soft spinning it. It's a tricky shot. He looked at that lower corner pocket. You could tell that he hadn't decided yet what sort of shot to play. What speed, what tip position, what kind of side. Because he jumped up from the shot, his delivery was no good. But again, not leaving a shot here for the Chinese. Most shots by these players are missed because they haven't decided yet how to play it. You can only truly deliver that cue properly if you know, understand and feel the shot. The shot, the speed and the tip position.
Well, Lee will be delighted where the brown 7 has come to rest. A little chubbier in the face than the last time I saw him.
He's been enjoying the success that he's harvested with the pool. Oh, good shot. Great shot by Ronald. It's always tricky if you have to play a safety like this, knowing that you'll leave the object ball on, the 7 ball in this case. You then need to hide the cue ball. As dramatic as this position looks, I expect Fu Jianbo to clear the 9, hit the 7 and make it or get lucky. He's not a big underdog in this situation.
Well, there's a path to the 7, a clear path, 1 good pot here. And Switzerland could regain that 2-rack ascendancy.
Let's see if Jungo can stay down better on his stroke, on his delivery, than he did on the last 7 ball that he tried to make. Seven ball wiped its feet before dropping in.
The PartyPoker.net World Cup of Pool is a tournament that always produces its share of shocks. Could the very first match in this year's event be an upset? Switzerland going well, 5-3 ahead. Welcome back to Manila, Philippines for the PartyPoker.net World Cup of Pool. This is the first match in a 32-team, 31-nation event, which in the opening match, well, we might see a turn-up. Switzerland are leading the defending champions and the #1 seeds 5-3. Switzerland, they aren't seeded.
Good speed by Ronald. Perfectly judged. Would always have the 8 and 9 as the big blockers. But tight behind the 6, that's the real bonus.
Well, Lee did it a while ago. Now, Fu's done it. Mr. Snooker, that everyone assumed he would have no problem whatsoever in negotiating.
It's always a difficult position, or more difficult than it seems, when that object ball's about 2-3 balls away from the rail, because then you really have to choose to go 1 or 2 rails. And Fu there went right in between.
We have 16 matches in this first round, 16 seeded teams against 16 of the minnows, or supposed minnows. And I'm just beginning to wonder whether the thought of perhaps beating China is making the Q arms of the Swiss a little tight.
He needed to maneuver that cue ball in between the 5, 6 and 8. So focused on that route that he probably took his eye off of the point of aim. And that's something that you can never do.
Lee almost spotted the 3 and the 4 at the same time there.
And this tells the story. It's a bad shot by Fu. Could have played for the 5 in the side or for the corner. But there was a perfect position.